Hello there, my name is Jan Szkaradek, and in this video I'll demonstrate three different rendering techniques that I've implemented in C++ and OpenGL. I'm going to talk about PBR-based Cookterrace, simple Blim-Fong, as well as a toon shader. So let's start with Blim-Fong. Blim-Fong, the one in the middle, it is one of the simpler shaders to make. It is shown as the first shader to make in most of the OpenGL tutorials. Its main components are ambient, diffuse, and specular, as well as the shininess. So the shading is done through the general shading is done through ambient and diffuse, and the specular adds the highlight component. Based on the light. So with the shininess, we can control uh, how uh, how light or how sharp or um, diffuse the highlight actually is. So if we increase the shininess, you can see the highlight is more distinct and has sharper edges. And then as we decrease the shyness, it diffuses more. The highlight diffuses more into the material. Next, we have PBR-based Cook-Terrace model. So it is a physics-based rendering solution. So it includes parameters of metallic roughness and ambient occlusion. The main Unlike with Fong shader, where the main color is mostly controlled by the diffuse, here it's controlled by albedo. It's mostly the same thing. So you can control the albedo on the model. Then we can also control the actual light color. So if you, for instance, have red and blue, it should mix them together and create a little purple. Then we can control the metallicness of the model. So we can basically imitate how the metallic component of material, how much of metal it looks. So as here, and we can also control the roughness. So it kind of works the same as shininess in the Fong shader by making the specular highlight more distinct. But in this case, the dissipation actually creates a matte uh, a matte effect for maximum roughness. So it can actually imitate matte materials. And then there is also addition of ambient occlusion component, which darkens or lightens up um, the the fragment colors that are perpendicular to the points in the model where normal is most perpendicular to the viewpoint. So as we can see, we get more distinct model with better outlines. Yeah, last but not least, toon shader. So this one is based on Blim-Fong. It mostly does similar calculations for diffuse and ambient as a Blim-Fong, and then instead of rendering the gradient of the color, it shades the model with color bands based on how close to perpendicular the normal is to the viewpoint. So in this case, it has similar thing. The color is mainly controlled by the diffuse component. Then we also have the shininess, which basically makes the model more metallic or not, similar to the PBR-based Cook-Terrace shader. Okay. And then we can also control the number of bands which are drawn onto the model. So again, yeah. So let's make it 6 like this. Yeah. Aside from that, unlike other shading models, this one does 2 render passes. One for calculation of the colors and the light, and one for creating the outline. So as you can see, it as you can see here, if I make it thicker, it creates outlines on the actual model that mimics the lines drawn in a comic book or something like that. So it basically scales the model and inverts the culling masks. Um, so most of the distinct edges of the model are corrected with a black outline, and we can control the thickness threshold of the outline, as you can see here. Okay, thank you very much.